What is up, guys? This is Chase back. Got a special video for you today. We're here with my buddy Trent, aka O Trademark. He's currently, are you the number one player right now?
Let's
Let's find out.
I know you were going to ask me that.
Oh, you're number two.
So mad. I'm number 2 right now. Actually, I think the top 5 on the list are all in our guild, though. Oh no, Even Tree's not. But yeah, 5 out of 6 of the top players are in our guild.
There you are.
And so it's a guild mate that actually is like pushed me out just today too. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I'm gonna do a video with iChase. He's gonna bring this up that I'm not number 1 anymore.
Well, I will say this: I've been watching the rankings for a while, and you've held the number 1 spot for the longest amount of time.
Yeah, I have been number 1 for a while, and I probably could take it back. We're in different. I think he's in Australia, so we grind at different times. So I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up. I'll be like 300 points behind, and then I'll have to catch up and pass him. But.
So I've got a bunch of questions for you today, guys. It's going to be kind of a podcast style. This may go for 20, 30 minutes. We'll see. I'll play casually in the background. But O Trademark is actually in the U.S., and you've been playing since beta. So did you actually make an Australian Apple ID just to play this game?
I'm on Android, so I was able to just download the APK. But yeah, anyone can download the APK if you're in there. And a lot of people were saying they couldn't purchase. For some reason, but I was able to purchase even without my U.S. account somehow. So
you were able to purchase.
Yeah, I was even able. I mean, nothing was wrong. It basically was just like it was my regular account. So I lucked out there. So
how the heck did you find the game, and why did you get into it? Because you're a COD guy. If you guys don't know, and his links will be in the description. He's a big Call of Duty YouTuber, or was. So why this?
Yeah, I started in Call of Duty, but I've always been a gamer. Since I was 4 years old, I've been gaming. Like, my older brothers were geeks, and I was pretty much a geek all my life, and just loved gaming. And after Call of Duty kind of died down, I transitioned into a Star Wars game called Galaxy of Heroes. And I got into a big guild there called Team Instinct, and became one of the leaders in Team Instinct. And I played that game for the past year or so. So, that game. That game is very catered to the pay-to-play players, and so Team Instinct is the biggest pay-to-play guild in that game. And I heard about this game a long time ago, so I knew right away that I would like it because I've always been into MOBA games, and I've always been into I used to play custom games in Warcraft 3 that were just like this game, actually, just like Force Arena. Literally, they would have powers, and you'd control a hero, and you would send AI units across the way. And it's so funny.
But that was that was on PC though, not mobile, right?
Yeah, that was on PC, but it's just funny because the Warcraft 3 custom games kind of adapted into the MOBA. Dota was a Warcraft 3 custom game initially, and it really spawned all of these spin-offs, League of Legends, and all the other games that came out of it. And I really liked the MOBA genre. But basically, I had 3 kids 3 years in a row, and life just got so crazy that PC gaming and console gaming, it just wasn't viable. It wasn't viable for me. Most of those games like League, you have to sit down and be able to play for 2 hours at a time to get anything done.
Yep.
And mobile, the thing that I loved about mobile is I could sit down in my work break or whatever for 20 or 30 minutes, and I could actually play and accomplish something. And the other thing that people don't like, obviously, is the pay-to-play aspects of mobile games actually allow me to be competitive because
you just own it. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? I have a good job now, and I make a good amount of money, so I can actually, instead of back then, in college days where I had all the time in the world to grind these types of games and get to the top. Now you can just enter your credit card, swipe it, go straight to the top there.
So this is actually one of the questions I have for you, and this is totally something I shouldn't ask. It's totally off limits. So I'm gonna ask it this way: Have you spent over or under $1,000 on this game?
On this game, I am well under $1,000.
Are you really?
Well under, yes.
I'm at 200 right now.
I'm very proud of this game. This game, I will say, okay, in the top 6 players, I know for a fact that 3 of them are free to play. They haven't spent $1 on this game.
How?
Yes. They're just grinders from day one. So here's the thing. They've been playing since soft launch day one. Okay. So they have they have an extra month and a half on most players, okay? But they are just really, really good at the game. In fact, number 1 right now is 2 levels behind me, player level.
I've noticed that. And he was
he
level 9. He was level 9 in the
yes,
top 5.
He was level 9 when I was level 12, and he was still win me. Like, he is a really, really good player. Don't get me wrong. He only focuses on rebels. He's only upgraded his rebel cards, and that's the only way he could stay competitive in a free-to-play account is focus on one deck, so he doesn't upgrade, like, I upgrade basically any card I want. Like, I just, oh, hey, this card's ready to upgrade, throw it, upgrade it. He focuses on one deck. That's what he upgrades. But it's allowed him to stay competitive. And there's a few people up there that they've spent, they either free to play. I think, a couple of them have put the boosters on, but nothing, never dropped like big money on crystals or anything.
So what would you recommend? I've been boost. I got the 28-day booster. I've been gymming or crystalling, whatever you want to call it. I've been gymming my packs. How would you recommend for people who do spend money? How do you get the most value from your crystals?
Yeah, that's a good question. So by far the most inefficient use of your crystals is to buy card packs. Card packs, not only are they like overpriced. Well, I won't say overpriced because everything's subjective, but they're the least value for your crystals for sure. As you level up in ratings, you get more cards in your card packs, but the cost of the card packs also increases.
Right.
So my diamond packs actually cost like 2,800 crystals.
Holy crap! Okay.
And, yeah, so they're pretty expensive for my diamond packs, and they get a lot more cards. But even then, it's horrible. It's a horrible value to buy card packs.
Is it possible to get the legendaries without getting the diamond packs, though? It seems difficult.
Yes.
It is?
It is difficult, but it's definitely possible. So if you want legendaries, the best way to do it is trading up. Okay, so you're going to need a lot of credits because that costs, basically you have to take 10 epics, and you have to trade into a unique, which is 5,300 credits, and then you have to take that unique and trade it into a legendary, which is like 80. They changed the pricing. It used to be 9,600. Now it's like 8,000 or something.
Okay.
Credits to go from unique to legendary. So that's the best way if you want legendaries. But if you just want actual good decks, because you really only need like a level 2 leader to be competitive at the top.
Okay.
Even I'll play 1v1s all the time with level 1 leaders. It's not impossible to win with only a level 1 leader. But the best, most efficient, most value gain that you can get for your crystals is first thing you need to do is you need to sign up for a booster.
Okay.
Booster is $17 for 28 days, and it gives you half off of the opening time on your victory packs.
Yes.
But when it halves the time, it also halves the cost of crystals to open that pack.
That's
so it's
brilliant.
actually, it gives you super value to actually open the victory packs with crystals.
Yes.
And so I'm at, let's see.
Yeah, that's smart. That's what I've been doing. I figured that out. I thought, okay, you know what? If I have a booster on, everything's half time, so it's literally half the crystals to open that pack early. So that's really, really smart. So that I think should give a lot of people watching this some hope that you can actually be competitive, because that's really rare. I mean, I think a Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, I mean, people are spending $5,000-$10,000 to be competitive. And here we have the number 1 player, former number 1, maybe he'll get the number 1 after tonight. Less than $1,000, which that actually really surprised me. I wasn't expecting that answer. So
a comparison in this other game, this other pay-to-play game that I was talking to you about, Galaxy of Heroes. We're in the biggest pay-to-play guild in the world, and some of our members have spent over $50,000 on the game.
Holy crap! No kidding.
And it's not unreasonable if you want to be in the top in that game. I think the top players are well above that threshold. And so this game really gives me hope. I know it's early, so here's the thing that we're not really accounting for. I played a level 13, and my guildmates have played level 13s with like level 4 leaders, level 5 leaders. So the whales are coming. They're climbing the ranks, and they'll soon be Kyber. And I think soon we'll start seeing those level 14, level 15 players enter into the Kyber scene.
Do we know when it maxes out? Do we know when a hero maxes?
Yeah, it's high. It's really high.
Oh,
I have it written down. It's level 10 for leaders, 13 for uniques, and 20 for commons, and then in between there for the other 2.
Level 10 and each time it doubles, right? So to get to level 2, level 3, 4, 8, and so on.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
holy crap! So to get to level 10,
Well, I think it doubles, and then it doesn't quite double as you
okay,
keep getting up there, so it doesn't quite, but it's very expensive.
that's some
Yeah,
serious cash.
it's a lot of uniques and legendaries. I don't see how they're gonna get to 10 or 13.
I feel like maybe
Without
this
a
is just me. Correct me if
20,000
I'm
or so.
wrong. I feel like it's harder to get uniques than legendaries. Legendaries just seem so
It
easy to
is.
get.
Yeah, it is. I'm curious if they're ever going to introduce a one-to-one unique trade, because that's why legendaries are typically easier to level up, because you can one-to-one trade and get lucky, upgrade your
Yeah.
cards. Before global launch, there was only 10 leaders, so they doubled the amount of leaders after global launch.
Oh, really?
Added 10 additional leaders, so it's a lot harder to get the leader that you want now. Prior to global launch, all of us, I mean, you trade a few times, usually get the cards that you want. I had all my leaders that I really liked up to level 3, going into level 4, and
Who's your
you could
highest ranked leader now? Level 4?
No, it's still only level 3.
Oh,
Mostly
really?
because I haven't been trading into those cards that I wanted. And the other reason is because I'm not buying packs. If you want high level leaders, uniques, you're gonna have to buy packs for sure.
Right.
That's the fastest way. Or trade. Here's the thing: is because a trade only happens every 6 hours.
Right.
You can do one of two things. You can either trade the current legendaries that you have and shuffle them around, or you can trade epics into uniques into legendaries, and that's the only way you're going to get new ones without buying packs.
Probability-wise, it just seems like Russian roulette. I mean, you just keep trading in, so you're going for 1 to 20, 5% chance of getting the leader you want. That's difficult.
And that's why I actually don't recommend players, especially if you're free to play, don't ever trade your legendaries out initially. You need a good credit stash to start trading.
That's a good point.
Your credits are going to be so much better off used to upgrade your card levels at a lower rating than trying to trade into a leader that you want. It's just not worth it to try and trade into the leader that you want.
Right.
I see so many people, they get those bonus credits from Netmarble, and they trade them away in the first 2 days. I'm like, oh man, you're going to need those credits really badly here.
Oh gosh. That's so funny. So what would you like to see? We do have a balancing change, which I'm going to talk about in a different video. This is recorded before the balancing change. Cassian's getting nerfed, who I'm playing with right now. Rip, which much needed, but I'm gonna utilize him while I can.
I think he'll still be viable. I think he's still a top 4 after the nerf.
Is he still going to be able to hit the turret without getting in range of being hit?
He still surpasses turret range, so you can still stand out there.
Okay.
Just outside of turret range. They put his range down from 13 to 11, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
And turret damage or turret range is like 9.5 or something. So he's still outside of range, but he does have to go into a little more of a vulnerable position. And they knocked his damage down just a bit.
Right.
But he's still going to be viable. The other cool thing that they did is they also sped up the time after you attack that you can move. So
so you can back away faster, right?
So I think what's going to happen is players that are more skilled at controlling your unit, you're not going to have the 13 range that you had prior, but you still have that that poke damage, and you have more control over your hero. So I think the players that are really good and skilled with him are still going to shine, whereas the people that were just kind of getting free wins, sitting back in the middle, poking everything.
Picking away the leader from back afar. Well, what other changes do you want to see? What needs to happen to make the game even better?
I hated Gigarans with a passion, so I'm glad they're getting nerfed.
So they got nerfed. Pretty big nerf.
Yeah,
I know it was crazy. It's crazy they compared them to what are they? The heavy machine gunner.
Heavy gunners.
Heavy gunners. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't on par at all. It was like
it was a horrible design
backwards.
flaw.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave them the similar DPS, but they mashed all the health together into one unit. So all the counters that counter heavy gunners don't counter, the Gigaran. So Yetis need to get nerfed, and they are going to be. And even more significant, probably than the damage and the health, is the 1 second delay between switching targets. I think that
was the big
really
one.
Big.
I mean, I saw that in their notes. He could just mow down troops and.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They were like, that wasn't our intention. It was supposed to be focused on one. It was just like just nonstop.
No, he was a mass murdering machine. You put him behind any tank, and he just melted every unit in front of him.
Yes.
So it will be interesting. Honestly, people cry out so much that Rebels are overpowered, but I think that was the only card that really shifted the balance.
Right.
Prior to global launch, Empires were actually quite better than Rebel. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how these changes
and the
affect
TIE
them.
fighter as well. They're lowering the energy cost to 3, which I feel like Rebel is a lot of troop based stuff. So now people running TIE fighters will be able to clear path pretty quick.
It was an interesting change. I wonder if they almost threw the balance out a little too much.
I think they might
to the
have.
other side.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. But Empire has a lot of tools now to counter to counter everything.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I think it will be a little favor towards Empire, after the update. But
I think a lot of people were complaining. I don't know if rightly so or not, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the meta changes.
It is. I see so many new players, complain about something that they're upset about, and then I like ask them to screenshot their deck or whatever, and they'll be in, they'll be sitting in like Durasteel, and the issue is you can't correctly assess the strength of a unit at that rating, at that level.
Right.
Because not only do you have a vast difference in player levels every game, like if someone spends money at the start of the game, they're going to be 4 or 5 levels above you. So it doesn't pretty much matter what you do; they're just going to crush you.
That's a good point.
And at that level as well, the thing is, as you level up, certain cards like your commons actually outscale your legendaries enormously, right? But when you're
I
early
saw
level,
you make that point. You made a good Reddit post that's way up on Star Wars Force Arena Reddit. You said, "Hey, don't focus on rare or epics. Like commons can be just as good." Which was
absolutely.
unique because for me, I'm like all focused on what's my highest rank epic. know, I'm like I got to bring those in the deck.
Exactly.
But I see a lot of people up high with you are actually running a fair amount of commons in their decks.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, there was a point where I was running the exact same deck in my free-to-play deck as my pay-to-play deck. It's commons and rares should always be 5 or so of your deck.
Okay.
5 out of 8. There's just so many good cards, and like I said, they out-level your other cards, and so stats-wise, they're going to be a lot better than a lot of these epics or uniques. They're level 1 to 3.
When do you think they're going to add guild rankings? Because right now, like you're in what's the guild name again? It's your guild?
Team Instinct is
Are you the leader there?
I am the leader. So in Galaxy of Heroes, I was one of the original members, and so now I'm a leader in Galaxy of Heroes. But now that we switched over, I pretty much switched all the way over to Force Arena. So me and another one of the leaders, a couple of the leaders have pretty much switched over to Force Arena. So I don't know how much we're gonna play Galaxy of Heroes anymore.
Well, I wonder. So you guys are probably itching to see guild ranks right now because right now it's just kind of nobody knows who's ranked high.
Yeah, right now it's just 2v2s, mostly just having fun. The funny thing about the only thing that guilds did for us is it allows us to get games because when you're at a high enough rating, 1v1 queue. The other day I told you.
Yeah, you told
I had
me.
a 105-minute queue for 1v1.
That's insane.
And I was actually just going to let my phone sit there until it queued. I was just going to see how far the queue could actually go in a 1v1. And, at 105 minutes, I queued against a guildmate finally.
You'd think the algorithms would start, going out, every minute would, go further and further. But
they do, actually.
But not enough,
The community manager says it starts by looking near your rating.
Sure.
And then it expands over time. Now, I don't know how much it's going, because sometimes I have, I might have a 3,000 lead over the new Kybers. And so if that's, I think we're at 9,300. So the new Kybers were over 3,500 points above them,
Oh my gosh.
So it's just
I queued against you in that 2v2, and I was like, how am I queuing against you guys? That was so weird.
2v2 matchmaking right now is severely broken. I'll be interested to see because they did mention in the patch notes that they're going to tweak matchmaking somehow. I don't know what that's going to entail, but there needs to be something done because.
Would you say go 2v2 seems best done with the guild because when I queue 2v2 with randoms, I just get pissed because the other person just suicides or just plays so stupid, right?
Oh, it's not worth going solo in 2v2s right now. No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, for 2 reasons. So usually the only way I can get a game is to queue with someone really low rating because it averages our rating somehow, and we end up playing people in the middle, and then I just end up stomping them. But the other thing that happens is occasionally I'll queue with someone really low rating, and it will match us up against 2 Kybers because there'll be lower Kybers, and it'll match us against 2 Kybers, and we absolutely get stomped. And here's the interesting thing: is the rating system is so horrible. I don't know if you get plus 31 points if you play someone 200 rating above you. If you win someone 200 rating above you, and you get only plus 17 if you win someone 200 rating below you, and then in between there, depending. Yeah, so that's how a lot of people don't know why they get plus minus 17 or 31, and that's why it depends on how big the rating gap is between who you're playing. But the weird thing is in 2v2, it doesn't take your combined rating. It only takes your highest player's rating. So since I'm the top player in the world, if I queue with someone low rating and we get stomped by, basically if I lose any game, I'm minus 31. Guaranteed I'm going to get minus 31.
And,
so
your teammates minus 31 as well?
Minus 31 for them as well.
That sucks.
Rating.
That sucks.
And even, even when the combined rating of the enemies is a lot higher than ours, they could be at 10K rating combined and ours is only 8K, but it gives them plus 31 because I'm at a higher rating. So they have some things to work on for matchmaking for sure. And hopefully it will get better, because the thing about Kyber is that once you reach Kyber, you're pretty much locked in. Unless you lose a lot of games in a row. You hit 5,600 rating, you get Kyber, and at the end of the season, however high you are, you just get reset to 5,600. Everyone gets reset to 5,600.
I saw that. Now, what
about more players?
What about for me in Chrome? Like, I'm pushing in Chromium. Hopefully I can push it. Where am I going to drop to? Am I going to drop all the way down?
It's
only Kyber and above.
Yep, it's only Kyber and above that get reset. So everyone's, even if you don't reach the tier that you want to reach this season, don't worry about it. Don't. It's not a huge deal. You just basically you want to be trying to have like a 60% plus win ratio. If you're doing that, eventually you're going to end up in Kyber.
That's
guaranteed.
True. That's a good point.
That's just the way that the math works out. You're going to end up in Kyber. It might take you a while. If you there's some guys in Kyber that reached Kyber with like a 95% win rate, like crazy win rates. But if you're not one of those just super elite players, then you can still hit it at 60%.
Well, and then you're going to hit everybody's going to hit a wall somewhere where it's going to be 60%. I mean, you can't keep up a 90% win rate that high. But
no, all of those guys have dropped since then.
Yeah,
I've made it a point to make sure all of those guys have come down to a reasonable level.
So 2 questions for you. One is, don't you feel that the current rewards for the end of season are pretty piss poor, or do you feel they're okay?
They are. And they're just kind of grouped pretty, in pretty big groups. They group you by your tier.
Right.
So there's actually no advantage to really even leveling up past 8,600, other than claiming that you can get rank 1.
Right.
So I ended rank 1 in the past 2 seasons, and it would have been cool if you grind for something, but there's really no point. I mean, right now you're getting 90 crystals and 900 credits and 9 epics. That's
nothing.
I mean, tier 7. Yeah.
Money-wise, what is that? $10? I mean, not even that.
No, not even that.
It just seems
it's very small.
Yeah, they need to do more, I think.
It's probably a gold pack.
Yeah.
Compare my gold packs.
That's so bad.
It's nothing. Gold packs are 3 epics, so it's a little bit better than a gold pack, but not by much.
Right. How many hours are you playing a day?
How many hours am I in the community? Like 24 hours of the day. I'm either in the community Discord, or
I just got in there today.
I'm a moderator on the subreddit, and then I do YouTube videos, and it is really consuming my life right now.
You're like me. You're an addict where you just go hard. You find something and you just go hard. That's respectable, though. I respect that.
It's been a while since I've been passionate about a game. I haven't really, most games they pique my interest for a little bit, and it's I give up on them. This one, it just fits me so well because I love MOBAs. I love the strategy aspect, tower type games, and I love the aspect of having a hero to control. Clash Royale, I dig the tower game, but having that leader there just gives me that touch that I need. I need to feel
that's
like
what I love about it, right? It's so much better. The fact that you can, I just feel it provides so much more variety. I'm hoping more Clash Royale YouTubers and stuff come over to this game. That needs it. So what tips do you have for a new player coming up as far as just gameplay? And we've talked a lot about card levels and things like that, but just as far as gameplay, what's important?
So the most important thing I would think is that a lot of new players will just panic and throw cards down without really understanding what cards they play, and that actually hurts you more than it helps you. Like, even if you're being pushed in, just dropping everything that's in your hand is actually probably going to lose you the game. What you want to try and do is understand what cards counter what cards, and you want to play the minimum amount of energy that you can to clear whatever is coming into your tower.
Okay.
So the biggest mistake I see most new players make is they overcommit to something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like a light vehicle is played, and they, in response to that 5 energy card, they play 10 energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that 10 energy might get cleared out by 1 AoE card or whatever, and you just wasted that 10 energy when you could have cleared it with maybe 3 energy.
Okay.
And that's the thing, is you only want to actually go all in when you have an advantage. When you know, hey, this is my time to actually push in and grab their turret, that's when you want to play all your cards. And I see a lot of new players that just kind of, they run up to the line, they're so excited to like get to that turret that they just drop everything in their hand and they run in and die. Their leader dies, all their units die, and then the other person counter pushes and takes their turret. So that's the biggest thing.
Are you putting down a card first, or are you waiting for them to place a card down and then responding, like right at the beginning of a match?
So that is something that most people don't understand. When you get to 10 energy, there is a bit of overcharge. So you don't actually waste energy when you reach 10.
Oh, really?
You can let it overcharge a bit. So you could like wait, 1 second or so after 10, and it will still roll over into your next.
Clash Royale doesn't work that way. That's unique.
And I didn't think it worked that way for a long time until a guild member pointed it out, and I tested it, and it's kind of hard to see the energy bars, but I've tested it quite a bit. And if you go into like a friendly match or a training match, you can see that, let's say you play a 3 energy card at like where you think it's going to be 11 energy. Usually it doesn't go to 7; it goes to right around 8.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, usually I always try and wait. I don't actually look at the unit of the enemy, but what I'll do is I'll look if it's a group versus a single spawn.
Okay.
And then what I try and do is play versus. So if it's a group spawn that they lay down, I try and lay down an AoE card unit at the back of my base, something like a sand trooper or grenadier.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a single unit, then I try and lay down something like a troop, there. And so it's or you can also lay single down. But the point is to try and lay something slow in the back of your base, because what you want to be able to do is have his units reach the center or your turret first, and have him waste his energy on the turret and kill those first units that creep up. So you get an initial energy advantage there.
That's really, really smart. And then how often are you, because I learned the other day you can actually just grab the map and like move around without moving your hero. Are you doing that at all, or you're just focused on the little HUD up in the left corner, the radar that shows where they are?
I'm a mini-map user. I do swap screens whenever I see like a turret being attacked, or at the start I always look up and see what they just spawned. So like I said, at around 10.5 energy, I'll lay my first slow card, and then I'll look at what they played, and then I'll try and plan accordingly to what their first play was.
Right.
But during the game, usually I'm just a mini-map user. If, like I said, if I see like a single unit placed at the top, I will check to make sure it's not like a GNK or something. So I'll grab my mini-map there and move it. But
so the other thing I find interesting is you've been going hard for so long, and you barely posted your first video on this game when?
2 days ago.
So you just wanted to make sure you had it all covered first.
I'm very passionate about the game. Is I would rather play it, than post content, obviously. But I just been loving playing the game, man. I literally I don't even care if it's like a friendly match. I like to grind rating. I like to get rewarded for the wins and whatever, get victory packs. But it's just a fun game to me. Like I actually, some players don't like to have those competitive matches. And
right.
like if I'm on tilt, I don't like playing against my guildmates, because I match against my guildmates a lot. That was
and ranked.
The one bad thing about recruiting into our guild, a lot of the Kyber players, is I play them all the time.
That's
so usually
funny.
If it's someone not in your guild, you can curse at them, you can call them names. Now it's like my guildmates. I recruited you, I brought you into my guild, and now you are stealing my points. It's not so great of a feeling after that. But
what's their guild rankings? That's kind of gonna suck, because you're just gonna stay even. Like one beats the other, and it's just gonna go like that. That's pretty awesome.
Guild versus guild should be a good little freshener on everything. And I personally think that they need a different leaderboard for 1v1 versus 1v2 or 2v2.
That's interesting.
The way it is, it's like right now, everyone that's at the top of Kyber previous seasons, you never played 2v2 because you never got a game because there was no team up mode.
Right.
So if you queued Kyber 2v2, you would be waiting for more than 105 minutes. You'd probably be in there, like queues were hour and a half easily in pre-launch. This is before global launch.
Holy cow.
It was really, really bad. And so 1v1 was the only way that you could get a match. And usually the funny thing is, like, I would play Snowfire and Portgus, like, we'd play a dozen matches in a row against each other, we just like best of 12.
Were you creating decks knowing that you're going to face their deck, that they're so
absolutely. Yeah, it was so, that's what I loved about it, is that Snowfire would lose, he would tweak one card in his deck, come back, play again.
That's
tweak
awesome.
one card in his deck, come back, play again. And he would lose 5 or 6 before he won, and then he'd start winning 4 or 5 against me, and I'd have to tweak my deck. Okay, let me swap out a card here and there. And I love that aspect about it because it's super competitive, and it makes us like think, okay, what card is making me lose, and how can I counter that card? And we tweak our decks accordingly. And we had some really weird decks that were coming out of there. Like, turrets never used to be used in 1v1, and like Snowfire started using them and actually countering in some scenarios.
As a defense?
Yeah, no, it's
awesome.
It's pretty cool. That really evolved my gameplay. In fact, I think is playing those players, those top tier players. Actually, I think I'm worse now than I was pre-launch, because now I play 2v2 so much, I'm used to stomping lower rated players, and I make these moves where it's like, well, that was dumb, but I can do it because it's like, oh, hey, I have 3-level card advantage on you. I don't need to play strategically right here. I just rush in and kill everything, and it's kind of cheap in that sense. So I'm hoping that they split up the leaderboards, get it back to more of the 1v1. Hey, let's grind this competitive. I'm playing someone that I know is of my caliber. They're strong players. They're in Kyber for a reason, etc. So that's what I hope they do. Right now, matchmaking is kind of a mess.
I like that suggestion a lot. Well, thanks for joining me today. We're going to record another video, guys, where we're going to queue up 2v2, and hopefully I don't make them drop rank. That'll be coming soon, probably tomorrow, but appreciate you hanging with me today and giving good information. And again, his channel's in the description, so I don't know how often you'll be dropping vids, but go send him some love. We're building a little community here in this game, so thanks again.